Hey everybody, I need a break from the mopey shit. Um, I know that's what I've been trying to work through, but I'm kind of clinging on to it. I'm trying to let it go. And I had a really cool experience the other night, and I kind of let it slip by, like I didn't share it, and I feel guilty about that. You got to let your inner child out to play. I don't care how grown you are. Again, you can't be a child all the time, but you have to let that healthy inner child out every once in a while. You have to nurture it. You have to keep that sense of wonder. That's where your joy comes from. And my example is the other night, it was warm out. It was beginning of this, and I live out in the sticks. Very country out here. Big wide open field right outside this little garage I hang out in. Um, and I went out the other night, and there was fireflies like all over. It was great. I loved it, and I just goofed around. Running around, skipping, whatever I felt like I could handle because I've been getting my energy back up. I've been trying to. The heat's not helping. And I'm fighting this roadblock in my head, this energy, but I'm fighting it strong. Um, so yeah, enjoy those moments. Do something goofy, do something cute. And if you are with somebody that like cannot tolerate that, again, it's time to re-examine your circle. Again, you don't want somebody who's that way all the time. But you got to be able to cut loose. And I've actually been a hypocrite about that lately. As I've been very, very serious. I've not let. And I think a big part of my problem is where my circle got small. I don't really have people to perform for. Like it was one of those fake it till you make it things for a while, where I was going through the depression. Um, I can be funny here and there in church, but not like I used to be. Um, and that's been my major circle, which is how I want to be in certain circles. Um, so I'm just looking for that place where I can, let that. I've always got that sly comment waiting on the side. Um, I usually come out with stuff out of nowhere. That was one of the things people, when I was a doormat, people loved that about me, as I could always, come out with some funny stuff. And I did like that challenged me that way. I just hate the way I would feel afterwards. I was reflecting on that the other day. One of my friends that I recently detached from, um, listen, I need people to know when I detach, it is not because I hate you, it's because I feel the hatred that you had towards me. And it may have only been perceived. I'm willing to acknowledge that. However, when I come to you and voice, hey, this is not cool, and it doesn't change, then that flips that, just so you're aware. And I have voiced very strongly. I mean, I tried so hard, you know, to save some of these relationships. Um, and, it just didn't work out that way. Uh, but I think that's the thing I miss the most is those goofy times. But again, I have to remember the cost of it. But I need to find a new outlet because I've just been keeping busy. Um, I work on the renovations around here when I can, and with this heat wave being what it is, I continue to work on myself. I have been getting stuck a lot doom scrolling. I'm trying to curb that. Not very well, semi successfully. I still do it, but I only do it in spurts now. Um, Whereas a little while ago it was like almost constant. That's because I'm making myself move. I can't be stuck. I was stuck long enough, and I don't want to go back into that place. I can feel things going down. And I know how to bring myself back up. Like, you can see it. Like, this is not, and like, when I do these videos, I am raw and real. I really am. That's one of the rules. That's the integrity that I have for myself. Like, when I'm around certain people, yeah, I'll put a front up just so, they don't have to worry about things. But when I do these, like, I am genuinely speaking how I feel in that moment. The problem is that I am in this loop, this spiral, that I'm all over the place, and I do not like it, because I spent all this time, like, teaching myself the self-control, and I'm getting frustrated with myself because I was starting to slip back in that old habit of falling into that spiral, and I did not. I don't want to be there, and I'm trying to get, put the blockage up to stop the spin so I can regain control. That's where we're at now. Because, again, it's not about, it's like I was saying in the other video, you have to teach yourself better habits if you want to change. But once you get there, you have to remember, sometimes there's going to be triggers that want to take you right back to your old ways. And that's when you got to watch. You got to stop that spiral. You got to get control. Again, admittedly, that's one of the things I'm struggling with, like, very hard right now. But I am doing the work. I am putting the effort in. I know some people think I'm just... It's funny. It's all about perception and perspective. Some people think that I am living like this best me right now, and other people think I'm just in this completely depressed spiral, and some people see it for what it is, which is I'm all over the friggin' place. That is the real image, by the way. I genuinely am. I've often thought that I'm undiagnosed BPD, bipolar disorder, because the highs are high and the lows are low. I have telltale signs of it. But I've spent extensive time in therapy, but that's never been the focus. I have been in about, the ADHD and stuff. But again, the help's not out here. I just tried again the other day for, like, the mental health thing. And again, it's a wait. It's a process. You only get so much. It's hard. That's why I do this. So people that are like me can find, you're not alone. And I'm talking my way through it. So hopefully something I'm babbling about here will help somebody else get through, a similar situation. It's hard because I lost my anchor. And the problem is I made the anchor outside of myself. That was my mistake. And I have to re-anchor. And I have to let some of this energy out. I've been absorbing a lot of negativity lately, and I'm carrying it, I'm holding it, and I gotta release it in a better way. So yeah, because again, I've been all over the place. The other day, I was actually dancing the other day. I haven't danced in years. Like, even, like, jokingly. Like, that's just not who I was. But again, that was when I could feel the drain, like, literally the life being sucked out of me. And I'm kind of starting to feel like parts of that now, and I cannot tell what part of it is memory, what part is, like, trained into me, what part of it is habit. Yeah, technically they all sound the same, but they're slightly different. Again, it's nuance. but they're all factors that come in fighting together. And I'm in here, you know, battling it out. Like, hey, I got to fix what I can fix. But you got to be able to look at it. You got to give it attention. See, that's the problem. Too many people are not paying attention. Not even to themselves. Like, how are you people operating in life? Like, seriously, like, I got to know. Because I forget how I did it. I know I was there at one point. I was a good little NPC just like everybody else for the longest time. It was that first heart attack that jolted me out of that. I mean, I never really fit that mold, but that's when it really, you know, snapped. A lot of people underestimate me. They think that certain things in my habits are, again, this is that binary thinking. You got to watch for nuance. My ex, one of the things that I'm sure that she absolutely repulsed her at the end was the desperation, the neediness. That was genuine, but it wasn't because I needed it from anybody else in the world. It was because I had chosen her. And she got this misinterpretation. It's like, oh, I got it. This guy is getting unstable, which is true. That is accurate. I'm living that now. But not for the reasons that were being thought. But it doesn't matter because, again, I now have the realization that, you know, we were never going to, whatever was going on, we're mirrors of each other. We're meant to look alike, but to be opposites. That's just, there's too many, again, I say look at the evidence. There's too much evidence that confirms that. But again, not to get hung up on it. God dang it. I'm trying to block that spiral. I got to get back to that was the whole point of this, is I got to get in the joy. Going back to, again, this other friendship. Another person that I detached from was very competitive. And I don't like, the only thing I want to compete with is my former self. I want to do better than I used to be. And I want to inspire people around me to be the same. You know, unfortunately, people read me the wrong way. When they see this version of me pop out, when I'm in party mode and I'm just relaxing and being the doormat, you know, that everybody sees me as this, just that, a doormat. But then, you know, I start to get a little tired of it, and I let the real me come out, and it makes them nervous. They don't know how to take it. And instead of, you know, adjusting and flying right so we can keep that dynamic going, you know, they want to, again, make it competitive. I hate that, man. Every time they tried to take me out to go have fun, it turned into like a competition. Like I felt like I was bullied every damn time. Like, how is that fun? That is not fun. That was one of the reasons I cut that. That was actually the main reason I cut that connection, because I tried several times to express this, like, hey, I'm not having a good time because of this attitude, and it didn't change. And so reflect on that, because people are giving you opportunities. A lot of people take a personal attack, like, hey, I don't like this about you. That is not a personal attack. That's a true friend. That's somebody saying, hey, I can see there's better in you. Bring it the heck out of yourself. You know? A lot of my friendships ended because of me saying, hey, you need to adjust your crown. And it is what it is. When you live in a world of people programmed to be fake, and again, that is not throwing shade. I know how that sounds. That is the reality. Like, we, as a society, the things that are fed into us are designed to make us this way. This is absolutely social programming, by all means. So, and that's why I'm able to not harbor hatred, because I understand that. I mean, it hurts. It really bothers me a lot. But I get it. Nobody asked for this. It's the people that cling to it that bother me. And unfortunately, that seems to be the majority. Not everybody, but definitely the majority. When I go hermit mode, it's not because I don't want to be out among people. Not anymore. It used to be. I used to have social anxiety. That left. That's gone. I dealt with that. What it is now is I can't stand to be around too many pretentious people. It makes my skin crawl. And that's how the majority of society operates. I can only do, short stints. And again, I have that self-control now. I can handle it better than I used to. But just because I can handle it doesn't mean I want to. And that's one of the shifts. That's one of the differences between what I was and what I am. But again, a lot of folks are reading me wrong. And instead of coming to me and having a conversation, because obviously I'm willing to do that, and I am obviously willing to analyze. I can't tell you, I've had a few friends that have pointed out, hey, come off your high horse, you're kind of flawed, and they have corrected me. But again, there's no reciprocation to that. Nobody ever shows that they listen to me. And I don't want people to listen because I think, I'm right, I have all the answers. I want you to listen because I know somewhere in all my babble, there is some nugget that's going to help you. There has to be. I'm good at this. I know that. Again, I go by evidence. But the price of access is you got to keep it real. And that's a hard ask in the world today. I get it. We're trying to change it. And we're going to. We will. Again, pray as if you've already received. We will do it. I just, we can't give up. That's the whole mantra. That's the whole, that if you put anything at the core of any of my messages, make that it. Do not give up. It will get better. Take it to God. But again, you got to get yourself right. That's the trouble. Some people think once they get themselves right, that's it. That's the end. No. It is a constant process. You got to keep it going. And if you slack, I'm paying the price for that. I slacked. And now that I'm starting to get it under control, but that was rough. All right, I'm going to end it there. Just take care of yourself. Try and help take care of each other. And I will catch you in the next one.